Hey, welcome back to the food forest. I thought a fun video today would be to help you guys decide where I put my new raised beds. So I'll show you a couple spots where we're considering, and then let me know what you think. Where would you put these things? Okay, so here are the raised beds in question. These are exactly 2 hockey sticks long. That is how we measure things in Canada, actually, believe it or not. So these are 2 hockey sticks long, just for reference, and we got 5 of them. I found these, like all the wood and everything, at the side of the road, and we can essentially have a couple options. Put 2 together end to end, as you can kind of see how one side is open. So that would make these beds 4 hockey sticks long. And then we've got one that's got a board on the one end there. So here are where our current annual garden beds are. This is in the backyard. So we've got annual garden beds that we've mixed matched in some perennials. People who watch the channel often will know a lot of the beings that are in here. We've got grapes, we've got cherry tree here. What do we have? Comfrey. We've got sorrel that's gone to seed. We've got bee balm, lemon balm, mint. We've got good King Henry in here as well for perennial edible crops. We've got tomatoes planted in here, jewelweed, fennel, lots of raspberries, kale going to flower, elderberries in the back. So a very complex and fun bed. I really like these. We've got dedicated annual beds here where we've got some orach growing. We've got Egyptian walking onions, more tomatoes, and we essentially are mulch with the comfrey. So we chop and drop comfrey, throw that down as mulch, and we grow spinaches and tomatoes and that sort of thing in here. We've got a compost system back there. And one of my original thoughts, I guess I should orient you as well, south is essentially right through that giant pine. So we've got a wall of larger trees behind here that shade out the early morning sun, but then this area gets decent sun in the midday. I dump my horse manure, any compost that I find, wood chips, kind of back in here next to the shed. So one of the areas I was thinking of was essentially along there and along here, just to kind of maintain continuity. I think that kind of aesthetically is the nicest. Leave open pathways for mowing when I want to get things down a little bit. Sorry about that dog barking. We had a neighbor walking by on the street there. Always interested in what we're doing back here because it's a little interesting anyway. So they were super excited to learn about mix matching all different tree plants and annual plants. So that was super fun to take them around the property quick, and a little bit of interest in the community and what we're doing here. So back to the video. We've got a potential area next to the garden beds here. My only small concern with that is that I might lose access to being able to easily drop off horse manure. We've got a load of compost here that the city gives away, actually, so we have to drive a little bit. But one of the municipalities near us gives away compost for free from the yard waste. So we made sure that we got a hold of that. And I'm looking now at our chicken run setup, and I'll go show you that. If anyone is new to the channel, I think you might find that a little interesting. And the south side of the chicken run is an area where I had considered putting the beds. And again, that pine tree in the back is the south. So this is kind of, towards the north of that. Lots of sun aspect here on the south side of this grape trellis and chicken setup. So let's go explore that, and let me know if you think that this is where the new raised bed should be. This here's the front side of that area, and this used to just be, I don't know, traditional landscaping, and we kind of transferred it into more permaculture, multiple layer style, where we've got trees, we've got a couple different walnuts, we've got oaks growing in there. Raspberries is a bit of a low-level herbaceous layer. We have hydrangeas that we kept because my wife likes them. We've got autumn olive, or yes, actually that is autumn olive, not Russian olive. So we've got autumn olive planted there as well, and I know it's a little bit problematic in some areas. It's not really so bad here. We've got grapes growing up this trellis as well. raspberries on the back, onion and garlic always everywhere. You can see that I enjoy sitting out here with the chickens. We built this kiwi and grape kind of pergola style trellis over top. The idea was that any fruits that I don't get will fall down and become forage for the chickens, and you see that a lot of raspberries had, and they've seeded in and spread rhizomally from the side. So this is kind of a real fun little chicken playground that we've got set up here. We've got this netting that has fallen over a little bit. I'll pick that up. We're getting our chickens in 2 days actually, so that's exciting. We've got more walnuts on the south side, and this netting lets us expand this chicken run to give them a lot of areas to browse and have fun. The potential garden bed sites might be a little bit to the south of this. This is all raspberries, and the garden beds might serve as a nice kind of border, something to hook that fence around, and then the chickens can get all in and underneath the raspberries, peck at them, get access to free browse and food. And because we leave it kind of wild with grasses and that sort of thing, there's lots of insect activity down in and underneath there. And on top is this gorgeous kiwi. So this is a cold hardy kiwi. This is not like a normal tropical kiwi. You can see it's doing absolutely fantastic. And I was seeing that it's loaded with kiwi fruit. So these are like small little grapes, grape sized kiwis. It's fur like hairless, smooth. And this thing is gonna just be amazing food for the chickens and for us. So this is option number 2, kind of back here. Ignore my ugly shed. I always tell you I'm gonna deal with that, and I always got lots of other fun stuff to do. But look at the rampancy of kiwi combined with raspberries and chicken manure. Just rampant. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, option 3 is all along this swale. So this is a kind of a bed on contour. It's planted out to hazelnuts and Jerusalem artichokes. There's a giant hazelnut there that's doing really fantastic. On the south side, where the water kind of gets held up on rains and snow melts and sits right up against this low edge, and you can see how much that hazelnut has really loved that. And again, this one here as well. There's actually a second swale down in here that you can barely see, because it's just so rampant. That's what happens with your swales over time, is they're harder to see because they're just super rampant. We've got an edge of daylily to kind of stop the grasses from creeping into the Jerusalem artichoke that worked really fantastic actually. And then these daylilies are fully edible as well. So the idea would be on the uphill side to put the garden beds here as well. South is there. There's a little bit of sun competition that kind of shades these out. So this is probably the third best sun spot of the options so far. So this is another choice. We've got hazelnuts, we've got a mulberry, we've got cherry trees. So I really like the idea of having garden beds somewhere where there's going to be some interest in perennials as well. Option 4, you're looking at it now. This is probably the ugliest spot of my whole property, and I'm broadcasting it to YouTube. There is a hot tub that we have not used since I became kind of permaculture aware and aware of the chemicals and everything that we're putting on our bodies. That is just been sitting there for about 7 years now. And on the back hillside here, there's a bit of a contour issue. Originally, I had thought this is a great spot because, again, south is behind me. So this is full sun. It's very difficult to mow. My kids kind of will mow as infrequently as possible because we kind of do like the grass to grow a bit here and provide habitat for insects and all that sort of lovely stuff. But I thought this is a nice area where if I put beds in here, I turn this annoying space into a functional space. I'd already started planting out some rugosa roses. We've got some olive cherries, or otherwise known also as gummy berries, planted in there as well. And then we've got some persimmon trees. We've got a little nursery of oaks and maples in the back. And then I can run tomatoes up this trellis, or sugar snap peas, We've got sorrel in there. So we do have a semi-functional area that I'd like to get more functional. This could be another option for where we put our beds, kind of option 4 here. And then as part of option 4, I don't want to have to necessarily dig into this hill in order to level my beds out, because that's a lot of work and I'm really against a lot of work when possible. So I thought it's a little flatter kind of here and then across there, and then I could turn that back hill, I could sheet mulch it and turn it into like a wildflower hill right up and against the back of this house, hide that really, really ugly lattice back there. That I had planted rugosa roses, and they're gonna eventually kind of block that out. But for now, you can still see the trellis. You can see we've got some more roses in here, but it's gonna take some time for those to get up. We've got sage planted in there as well, and then that gumi. So that's the other option. The thing that I like about that as well as a potential option is that it's right next to the pond. It helps continue the landscaping out here that I haven't really messed around with, besides adding some, you know, hostas and nicer things back here. But it's kind of nice when you come out to this pond, if you maybe have access to some snacks in the form of annual beds and tomatoes. And speaking of the pond, like, look at these sea buckthorn. They have just thrived in this space, 3 years, and they're pushing probably 15 to 20 feet tall. And this is the time of year at the pond where, if you take a good look, you can sometimes see dragonflies scooting around eating everything. But this place is just filled in beautifully. I'll do a follow-up video more detailed on the pond maybe in a little while. But you can see I do have, you know, things like comfrey planted in the side here. We do have a electrical cable that comes down the side here that I can't dig much. I planted out like service berries and these persimmons to help me never dig there again, kind of mark the area where I wouldn't dig. So this is option 4. Option kind of like 4A would be to just go a line straight across this hot tub and, you know, grow maybe peas up this back area and cover this hideous part of my property. Really, really nasty. I don't really like this place at all. And then another last option would potentially just be at the side here. Now this is the back side of the house. It's concreted in. It's acted as a storage space for all my ugly stuff that I want to hide from the road and the front of the house in the past. But you can always get a car back in here if needed. And then raised beds there might be okay. I was going to put, you know, normal beds here, but if anyone does park, I don't want any kind of run off into edible food. So it would definitely have to be raised beds. Lining this with raised beds could be an option. I don't really know if that's a decent one. The sun aspect is nice. Just seems kind of random to maybe have beds scattered throughout. And then this is the kitchen here. So I do kind of want to think functionally in terms of permaculture zones. You know, walking out of the kitchen, grabbing some food that's maybe right there. That's kind of really handy. So just in summary, this is looking back into the backyard. Option 1 would be on the other side of the truck next to the other raised beds. Option 2 would be behind this guild here and chicken run. Potentially here, potentially just there, something back there. Option 3 would be up and along these Jerusalem artichokes. And again, south is that way, over that pine tree, right through the crack of those trees. So south is over there. This is option 3, maybe the worst south aspect, because midday sun. You kind of get early sun and then you get blocked out until the sun comes around the other side of these cedars, and then you'll get a little bit of a slice of sun coming in. So that's option 3. Option 4 is right below me here, this little area here. So let me know, and I guess option 5 would be right along the side there. So let me know what you think. What would you do if it was you? Where would you put those raised beds? Again, remember, they're 2 hockey sticks long. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. I'll leave you with a little zoom out of what the pond is looking like as of the beginning, or I guess the end of May. Bye everyone.